Hey everyone, Once Bitten here with Game 3 of the Grail Quest 2013 tournament, My Empire versus a High Elf Army. My opponent and I are ranked number 1 and 2 at this stage of the tournament, and so we are on table 1, and the game is actually being broadcast live, so I'll give you information on that in just a second. So this is a meeting engagement scenario, but you don't have to roll to see if units come on or not. That's just how you deploy. So my opponent had to deploy first, I got to deploy in reaction, which I think is a huge benefit for me. And then, of course, he's likely going to be able to go first. So in this scenario, you can get up to 3 battle points for having a unit in terrain. And you get 2 battle points for killing monsters in your opponent's army. Since my opponent doesn't have any monsters in his army, I automatically get those 2 bonus points. I only have 1 monster, so he automatically gets 1, and he can get a second one if he kills my giant Chaos Spine Beast. So if you're interested in watching this live, which I don't know if you're into that sort of thing or not, I never thought I would be, but I ended up watching this one. It's a 2.5-hour game. The only problem is it's kind of hard to find, but if you want to find it, it's at twitch.tv.com, and it was broadcast by Atomic Empire, and in theory you could go to their profile and then to search past broadcasts. I couldn't find it that way. I don't know how I stumbled upon it. But this one technically is recorded under Grail Quest Game 2. They go by a different name than that, but if you kind of hover your mouse over it, you can see the name of the game. This is Game 3, so what you have to do is you have to pull up the Game 2 and then start it at about 3 hours and 17 minutes in, and that's kind of where we start up with it. The long link at the top does get me there, so you can try that, typing that in as well. So anyway, if you want to watch it live, if you want to know what it's like to play against Once Bitten with all my weird mannerisms and whatever, you're welcome to watch it there. So, deployment. He's got a unit of Fast Cav on the left. I think his Fast Cav had 6 Reavers in it. Bolt Thrower, then he has 6 Silver Helms, another Bolt Thrower, and then he's got his big Death Star, which is 27 White Lions with 5 characters. So, the characters are Alarielle the Everqueen, Aelith Einar. He's got a Northern Sea Helm Battle Standard Bearer, and he has a standard that you can only take if you take the special character Alarielle. Then he's got 2 level 1 light casters, and the unit, of course, has the banner of the World Dragon. So this, in my opinion, is the mother of all Death Stars. Not necessarily just in its killing power, although it is certainly pretty lethal, in its points denial. So 60% of his army's points are in this one single unit. They're immune to fear and terror, so you can't terror bomb. You can't charge with a terror causer and hope to get lucky there. They are pretty much immune to magic. If you target their unit, they're going to get a 2+ ward save against anything magical. If you have a character in combat that has a magic weapon, boom, they're going to get a 2+ ward save against it. So they are vulnerable to dwellers below, especially. So if you bring Lore of Life and you get Dwellers, then you're golden against this list. I mean, I think you could rock this list if you have Dwellers, but I didn't. It's pretty much immune to shooting. They get a 5+ ward save against any non-magical attacks, and they're -1 to hit with any shooting that targets them. So if you had a template weapon that could land on them, that might do okay, but they would still get a 5+ ward. Also, the White Lions have a 3+ armor against shooting because they have a 5+ heavy armor, and then they have their cloaks, which give them a +2. So real brutal there. So if you try to charge them in combat, one, because they're BSB, if you only charge them with 1 unit or only charge them in one flank, they can basically, after you move your charger in, they can do a reform. So you can't even get like a flank charge on them very easily. And then they're going to be stubborn with high leadership, probably rerollable. So you can't magic them, you can't shoot them, you can't combat them. I mean, you can do them, but it's going to be tough to get any of them. So I say all that to describe what my strategy is against this. So anyway, right next to him, he's got some more Silver Helms. In front of him, he has some more Fast Cav. Then he has 2 more Bolt Throwers. Then he has another unit of Fast Cav and some Shadow Warriors. So normally I say, if you're going to bring a list that I perceive to be cheesy, at least have it well painted. And I'm telling you, this army is painted. This guy's won a lot of. He wins best painted at a lot of tournaments he goes to. This is the best reason to watch this game live is because they put this camera up real close, and you could just see better than my pictures show how well painted his army is. It is absolutely stunning. It makes my army look like a 5-year-old painted it. So he had to deploy first, with the exception of his Shadow Warriors. So my thinking is he's got 60% of his points in that Death Star. My best bet is to try to wrap up all the other points, and I'm not really worried about doing that. I think I might be able to do that, and that nets me 40% of his points, so that means he's going to have to kill 40% of my points before he can win the game, even if his Death Star doesn't do anything. So I started off fairly... I have the steam tank and 1 unit of halberdiers, roughly speaking, in front of his Death Star, and their job is to delay them, slow them down, tie them up, do something. I'm not rushing to get in combat with us folks. I have my Spine Beasts on the left, I have my Demigryphs on the right. Their job is to mop up points wherever possible, and then swoop around, and if I can get a couple flank charges against the Death Star, that's going to be my best chance going against him. So that's why I'm deployed the way I am. It looks roughly like that. The cannon, the only thing the cannon's going to target are his bolt throwers. If I can hit him, I'm wounding on 2s, and he only has 2 wounds, so they should be fairly easy to mop up. And they'll do some damages. I'm not really worried about his bolt throwers. I understand why he has them. I think it's a smart tactic. But against my list, he can pick on my steam tank, and whatever. I'm just not worried about it too much. So anyway, that's how the board looks. High Elves, I could steal on a 6, and of course I don't, so he gets to go first. He takes 1 unit of Fast Cav and scoots between my lines, between my halberdiers and my Demigryph Knights. Another unit parks in front of my demis. My demis were going to go... I was going to shoot at the bolt throwers on the left and have my demis go after the bolt throwers on the right. He can see that, so he parks Fast Cav in front of him. I'm really not worried about that at all, because I'll charge the Fast Cav, I'll easily win that, and then his Shadow Warriors, their leadership 8, they might just panic right off the table. So... I'm not too concerned about it over here. I'm a little bit concerned about those, the Fast Cav kind of around my flank, but he's a turn or 2 away from being able to charge, and I can use my chariots to charge him or use my magic to pick him off. Yeah, so this is him trying to slow me down from going against his bolt throwers. He has some silver helms coming to help out. That's not wonderful. And Fast Cav over here scoot around me. So I can see why he did this, but I was thinking I don't need my steam tank to go barreling towards his Death Star, because I think he'll just kill me, really. So my plan is just to use the random movement to charge a steam tank into his Fast Cav and take them off, and I really have a very, very good chance of being able to do that. As long as he doesn't get me so low on wounds that I can't generate steam points, I should be able to make that charge. So he starts 2 bolt throwers into my Demigryphs. They both hit, they both wound, and they both do 2 wounds. They did exactly probably what they should have. So I lose a guy. My only fear here was failing my panic. I would have fled away from the bolt throwers and probably have gone off the board, or if not, certainly been out of position. So I wasn't too concerned about that. I don't need full strength demis to do what I need to do. I'm not worried about the Fast Cav in front of me. I'm not worried. I can beat them with 3 demis, no problem. Now this picture was taken, I pulled the Demigryph from the right, and then I went back before my turn started and pulled the one from the left, so I moved him over just a little bit. When I pulled him from the right, I was thinking I was going to charge the bolt thrower, and then I realized that was stupid, because there's a good chance I would fail it, and then I would just be in a bad position. So Empire turn 1. The steam tank goes barreling into the Fast Cav on the left, so those seem like free points, easy points right there. My Giant Chaos Spine Beast is swooping around as quickly as he can, as if he's not worried about... I'm just not worried about getting charged by the Silver Helms. I'm not worried about being shot by the bolt throwers. They can do stuff to me. More than likely, they're not. I've got a 4-up regen, and they're probably not going to kill me. And once I get in combat, they're certainly not going to do any wounds. Yeah, so my units are somewhat... My halberdier units are somewhat close together, and everything else is spread apart. That's a very unusual strategy for me. Yeah, but I kind of like my position, to be honest. The only thing I don't like here is when I reformed my halberdiers, I should have put my battle standard bearer on the far side to give the Demigryphs a reroll. But yeah, I just didn't think about it. Charges Fast Cav. Yeah, not worried about that. I should mop them up very easily. They're strength 3. I've got he's going to hit a lot, but he's wounding on 5s, and then I've got a 1-up armor save. Yeah, sorry for the blurry picture, but it's a bad place to be in if you're fast cav. I'd almost rather not kill them all and have him stick, um, so that he can't shoot at me his next turn. Cannon opens up, takes care of one bolt thrower, so 1 down, 3 to go. And then in Magic, my first spell was Banishment on this fast cav, and he just let it go. I think he was worried about other things I might cast, and so I got them off the board. So again, my strategy is I'm trying to clear off everything on the board except for his Death Star. That would give me 40% of his points. So I'm really, really happy. I just got his fast cav on the top. I got these fast cav. My Demigryphs should be able to get the other fast cav. And the Demigryphs are not worried about the Shadow Warriors in the slightest. They're somewhat worried about the Silverhelms that are going to come charging in. But even then, I'll have a 3-up armor save, and he only has, I assume, 6 attacks. So his fast cav do 3 wounds to me. They only have one guy couldn't make it in combat, so they had I think 5 attacks. And wounded on 5. So he does 3 wounds, which I felt was very fortunate. I roll my armor saves, and I fail 2 of them. 2 out of 3 ones. And this is where on the... if you watch it live, on one of my rolls, I dropped the F-bomb very, very loudly. This might have been it. I was very frustrated. Because in my mind, I needed 3 Demigryphs here. I'm about to get charged in the front by those Silverhelms. They may fail it. They may fail some dangerous terrains. All those things might happen. A 3rd Demigryph makes a big difference. As it is, yeah, ended up being like that. Steam Tank, I took 2 wounds on High Elf turn 1 probably from Aelith Einar, who gets to shoot at ballistic skill 7 with a bolt thrower. So he's hitting on 2s no matter what. And the only thing I do like about that is that's keeping his Death Star from marching, because he only wants to move so he can shoot with that guy. And so it's keeping his Death Star from cramming themselves down my throat. But anyway, the Steam Tank easily polishes off the fast cav over here, and we go to High Elf turn 2. I think he pretty much had to reform his White Lions because they were kind of behind that building. So we reformed them and moved them up just a little bit. Yep, his Silverhelms, they don't fail any dangerous terrain, which I thought was a bummer. I'm gonna have a 3-up armor save against these guys, but he gets to reroll to hit, and yeah, you're gonna fail some of them. So I'm not confident about my ability to stand here. If I had 3 demis, I probably would have been more confident, but who knows? Yeah, he's still at full strength here. His Silverhelms decide they want nothing to do with my Great Chaos Spine Beast. Really, there's nothing the Silverhelms could do to avoid being charged by my Spine Beast, or if they march totally far up, it would have been stupid. So he decided just to get them the heck out of Dodge. During the Magic phase, yeah, he casts Fiery Convocation on these guys. 6 dice, miscast doesn't bother him a bit. Unless he rolls a 2, 3, or 4 on his miscast table, nothing else is going to hurt that unit. And even then, it doesn't hurt the unit. He might lose the mage. And it does what it should do, takes care of just over half my unit. And actually, it's Strength 4, Toughness 3. He probably should have... I probably rolled slightly better than odds there. I passed my panic, but this unit just went to being almost combat ineffective, and it's going to cost me my next Magic phase, because this thing remains in play. And then either shooting or magic, whatever, I don't know. He picks my War Altar. Everything hits the War Altar itself and does 4 out of the 5 wounds. So that thing's clinging to life with 1 wound. Over here, yeah, I think he did only 1 wound to me, and I did 1 wound to him. We both had a banner. He won by a charge. I needed a 7, and I failed it. That was unfortunate, because after the charge is over, my demis are going to win that, I think, because now he's at Strength 3. I've got a 2-up armor save against him. I'm still Strength 5 with my demis. Yeah, that was unfortunate. The only thing I have going for me here is that he was... Well, I don't know. I don't remember why. I don't know why he pursued as opposed to reforming. It doesn't really matter. Well, what does matter is I have a decent chance of making a charge with my halberdiers. I've got nothing else to do with my halberdiers, and I might be able to pop that unit through combat res. So Empire turn 2. The halberdiers charge the flank of the Silverhelms. At the very top, my Great Chaos Spine Beast charges 1 bolt thrower. Very happy about that. I'm trying to line them up so that when I overrun, my choice next turn would be to charge the bolt thrower, the Silverhelms, or his Death Star, depending on what was most advantageous. My steam tank moves up closer to my lines. Again, I want the steam tank to be able to slow down that Death Star to the extent possible. Yeah, I don't know what happened here afterwards, because this angle here looks like I'm going, yeah, whatever. So I charge there. There's this. My hope is I can beat them through combat res. I'll have a charge, a flank. I have 2 banners. He has 1 banner. So I start up. I also have a rank. So I start up +4. And he's not going to do 4 wounds to me. So I'm going to win. He starts at leadership 8. So he'll be at a 6 or 7. I'm hoping, like I said, to pop him through combat res. And then if you go middle to middle, he's actually angled fairly well to go in off the table. He'll probably need to roll like an 8. So if he rolls high enough to get away from my halberdiers, he's probably going to go off the table. My hope is his Shadow Warriors fail their panic. At 8, they just go off the table and I don't have to deal with them and I can reform. That's the hope. Yeah, I don't do any wounds to him. He does 1 wound to me, and yeah, he runs off the table. His Shadow Warriors pass their panic, and they stick, and I just overrun into them. So, pretty confident about getting that. And this is where the angle's weird. I don't know how this... Basically, after I overran 9, and now I can't see the bolt thrower. So I'm not sure if I wanted to charge it or not, but I did want the option to. So kind of bummed about that. High Elf turn 3. These Silver Helms come marching up to threaten my halberdiers. The problem is he failed 2 dangerous terrain in the forest. So going from 6 to 4 is actually... that's a pretty big deal. He's passing all his leadership tests, so he didn't panic. That would have been nice. I'm really glad he lost 2, because now I don't worry about him quite as much. His again, his white lines come up a little bit. They don't march because he wants to shoot at my steam tank. They're getting close enough now that my I think my halberdiers need an 8 if I wanted to charge them, and my steam tank needs to roll. My guess is about a 10 or 11 to get there, so it's not necessarily likely. But what I'm looking at here is the spine beast can easily charge their rear. If I get the halberdiers in their front, he won't be able to do that reform thing. That's what I'm thinking. Over here, I beat the Shadow Warriors fairly easily. They run off the table. I reform like that. And you know what? I think if he charges in, he wins, and I'll have cold-blooded, steadfast, re-rollable. So I think I stick, and I think I win that eventually. So I'm not worried about Silver Helms over here. Let's see. So my halberdiers charge the Silver Helms, and he flees, and so my War Altar charges him just to push him farther away. If he rallies, I want him, away from things. My Giant Cast Spine Beast charges his White Lions, and my halberdiers charge him, and my steam tank charges him. Halberdiers fail. I think I roll a 4, the halberdiers. So he reforms against my Spine Beast, and my steam tank doesn't make it. And when he reformed against the Spine Beast, of course that happens before compulsory moves, so the steam tank actually had farther to go, so it actually was very unlikely to make it. So in hindsight then, had I thought about that, I would have angled towards the bolt thrower so I could at least shoot at that. But you know what they say about hindsight. So my hope here is really, my initial hope was to whittle him down. I made some decision mistakes here. My opponent made a mistake that I don't know how much it affected it. I may have made a mistake, but my mistake was partially due to not understanding a rule. So I asked my opponent what his protection was like. He said that his White Lions run a 4-up ward save, and Aelith Einar, which was the other choice I was going to go after, basically I could go against his champion, rank and file early, Aelith Einar, and he said Aelith Einar was on a 3-up. So he was thinking that he cast a high magic spell during his magic phase, and he didn't. He didn't cast anything in his magic phase. So I figured a 3-up against Aelith Einar or a 4-up against the White Lions, screw it, I'll go against this character and try to get points. I didn't know that the Ever Queen could heal characters automatically, so I wouldn't have done that. And the White Lions would have been on a 5-up because I have non-magical attacks. So had I known all the rules and where we were at, I would have gone against rank and file and just tried to whittle him down. As it is, I went against Aelith. I did 2 wounds against him. One of them he ward saved. I don't remember what he saved to ward save, but that's huge because he thought he was on a 3-up, he's on a 4-up. If he rolled a 3 for that extra one, that means I would have got the character. Instead, I only did 2 wounds, and then he can heal him up after that. So anyway, short story long. In shooting, I pick off another bolt thrower. And after combat, yeah, he did 2 wounds to me. During the magic phase, I got speed of light. So weapon skill 10, initiative 10. And I was thinking that I didn't get rerolls against white lions because they had always strikes first. But I found out later that I would have. So that's just bad. If I'd have gone against white lions, I've been rerolling to hit. I'm weapon skill 10, hitting on 3s, rerolling because I have ASF initiative 10. High strength, and he only would have had a 5 upward. Just kind of screwed up all the way around. Anyway, as it is, I think he even won, and it looks like that. It's hard to keep. Here's my problem with special characters. I don't know the special characters from all the books, and a lot of times my opponents don't know the rules in enough detail. So anyway, he rallies the Silver Helms. In Magic, oh my gosh, he gets Drain Magic off, so my Weapon Skill 10, Initiative 10 goes away. I love that spell. I think that's a very cool spell. Then he gets 3 other spells cast. He had the most crazy Magic phase, but remember, he gets +8 to cast. If he targets his own unit with light or life, he's +8. I can't stop it. He rolls boxcars for the Magic phase, and he's got every buff you can imagine on that thing. I can't stop +8. So he doesn't kill my Giant Cave Spine Beast, but he breaks me in combat, and he had to make the choice: does he stay where he's at and get charged by my Steam Tank, or does he pursue the Spine Beast, maybe still get charged by my Steam Tank, but at least get those points? Because I would have had a decent chance of rallying him otherwise. He decides just to go ahead and get the points. We go to Empire turn 4, and this is where I realize. I didn't just realize, I knew from the beginning of the game that it was going to be tough to get his Death Star, and this is where I realized I don't have anything left that can do anything to it. My Spine Beast is gone, my Demigryphs are gone. Their job was to swoop around and get some flank charges. As it is now, I've got the Steam Tank and Halberdiers, and I don't trust them to be able to do it. So I decide at this point I'm just going to try to move away from him, get his other points if I still can, and stay away from Death Star and go for a draw. And I hate that, but there's nothing else I can do. So shooting, I take care of a bolt thrower, which is the last one. I killed 1 in combat and 3 through shooting, so that's nice. The only thing he has left besides his Death Star is this 1 unit of Silver Helms. So his Death Star comes back towards the table again. He reforms, and he's not marching. He is, but I think he does have time warp up, so he's not marching, but he's still movement 10 for crying out loud. So Empire turn 5. My Halberdiers look like they're facing the building. They're not. They're in bus formation facing my side of the table, facing the Steam Tank. So the Steam Tank moves as far as it can, and then the Halberdiers come up behind him. And my big fear is I'm sticking back so far back. If he charges me, he's got a decent chance of making it. But yeah, that's where that's at. During his last Magic phase, he cast Banishment on my Archlector and War Altar and got rid of them. So that's not good. Yeah, I'm just scattering out because if he gets another Magic phase like that, I thought he had +8 to cast all spells. I didn't realize at the time he only had +8 to cast what was in his unit. So had I known that, I probably would have gone ahead and kept my my wizards together, like with the archers, thinking he may only get 1 spell off and my archers can absorb it. But I thought he was going to be +8, and I just had to be willing to give up some of my spellcasters. So during shooting, I could hit 3 with my cannon, 3 Silver Helms, but I roll a 10, and so I only hit 1 of them. Passes his panic, of course, and so he's down to 3, which doesn't do him anything. It makes him combat ineffective, but he wasn't going to get combat anyway, so he hides his Silver Helms behind the building so my cannon can't shoot him. He moves up with his White Lions. He doesn't want to risk a failed charge, so he can cast magic. He could have done that anyway, but he can shoot and try to kill my Steam Tank. We played a rule wrong here, but it didn't affect anything. Basically, he rolled high for his Magic phase, but I was getting really lucky on dispelling and stuff, and so he cast a spell trying to kill this guy, and he rolled like double 1s, and his Magic phase was over, and so then he has a 1-use item where he can recast a spell, but he thought that he could reuse the dice, and so he reused the dice, and he killed my spellcaster. That's just not knowing the rule, but that's the problem with taking special characters. I don't like tournaments with special characters. Anyway, he gets those points, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Empire turn 6, I'm not doing anything because there's nothing I can. Moving doesn't matter. There's nothing I can shoot at that's going to matter. It's not worth a miscast. And magic is that there's nothing I can hurt. So, yeah, we just end it like that. And we add it up. And I felt, I don't know, I felt very fortunate at this point, but it ended up being an 11-9 victory for the High Elves. Um, yeah, I don't know, woulda, shoulda, what could have happened. He never ended up getting the steam tank. I know he was frustrated because Aelith Einar, he felt should have been able to pick it off, and I don't know, I haven't done the math, probably should have, but the steam tank's like on 2 wounds, so he only got half points there. Um, so really, he got my Demigryphs, he got my Grace Chaos Spine Beast, my Archlector Moor Altar, and half my steam tank, and a spellcaster. I had everything on the table of his I got except for Silver Helms and his Death Star. So, yeah, 11-9. We looked at the bonus points, and I think we both got 4. So it ended up being 13-15. So this was I was very happy with this result based on how things went, because what I told myself is in the tournament, if I lose a game, I just want to avoid the big losses. And so to lose a game and still get 13. I was happy enough with. So going into the game, I was in second place. I think at the end of the game, I'm still in fourth place out of 60. So I can't complain about that after a loss. So for the tournament overall, I'm at 56 battle points. Happy enough with how this is going. Hope you enjoyed it.